in opposition to this woefully incomplete resolution. I'd like to begin by saying that I condemn violence in all its forms, including the threats, vandalism, and property destruction described in H-Con Res. 3. I would also like to reiterate my condemnation of the attempted murder of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. That should go without saying. I am grateful that no one appears to have been physically injured in the vandalism incidents described in the resolution, and that law enforcement took Justice Kavanaugh's would-be assassin into custody before he could complete an act of violence. In a democracy, violence is never the answer to a political dispute, and it should be roundly condemned in all its forms. This resolution, however, is a transparent partisan ploy that is a woefully and unacceptably inadequate condemnation of violence. It comes in the context of extremist MAGA Republicans' effort to enact a total ban on abortion at both the state and federal levels. And in what appears to be a glaring omission to H-Con Res. 3, my Republican colleagues refused to condemn the long-documented history of violence, murder, and mayhem perpetrated by anti-abortion extremists against abortion providers and their patients. According to the National Abortion Federation, since 1977, anti-abortion extremists have been responsible for 11 murders, 42 bombings, 196 arsons, 491 assaults, and thousands of incidents of criminal activities directed at patients, providers, and volunteers. Sadly, these incidents have increased dramatically in recent years. In 2021, abortion providers faced a 600% increase in stalking incidents, a 450% increase in clinic blockades, a 163% increase in reports of hoax devices or suspicious packages, a 129% increase in invasions, and a 128% increase in assault and battery compared to previous years. In some cases, violence against abortion providers has had deadly consequences. For example, in November 2015, a gunman murdered 3 people and injured 9 others when he opened fire with an assault-style rifle at a Planned Parenthood health center in Colorado Springs. In January 2021, a gunman attacked the Planned Parenthood clinic in Knoxville, Tennessee, and later that year, the same clinic was burned to the ground by arsonists. Regardless of your position on abortion rights, it is important that we condemn all acts of violence, regardless of who is the ultimate target. I'm concerned that by refusing to condemn violence against providers, this resolution will inadvertently send a signal to anti-abortion extremists that violence against abortion providers is justified by the vandalism described in the resolution. If this inadequate resolution could potentially fan the flames of political discord, what purpose then does it serve? The only purpose I can infer is that it is intended to placate the extreme elements of the anti-abortion movement while this Republican majority figures out how to pass a total nationwide ban on abortion. Let me be clear. Democrats stand with the majority of the American public and will oppose such a radical position. H-Con Res. 3 is nothing more than a partisan political ploy designed to advance an extreme anti-abortion agenda and is not a serious effort to condemn political violence. Indeed, it may have the opposite effect on the American public because it purposely fails to condemn the thousands of threats, violent incidents, and attacks that abortion providers and patients have endured for decades at the hands of anti-abortion extremists. I urge my colleagues to vote no, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from